Okay, should we make a bet?
Yeah, let's do it.
If you don't, you shave your head bald, like with a razor, bald. And if you do, I'll buy you a watch. Do you want to take that bet?
All right,
That's a win-win.
I'll do it.
And I can't move on, baby doll. Waiting on calls, flipping through stations. I'm outclassed, it's outrageous. And I take it all, baby doll. Whatever day, away you.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the KSYD podcast. Today, we have Austin Harless with us, who is a multiple $100,000 a month producer, sold $900,000 in a year, biggest year in insurance. And he's somebody who has mastered the sales process when it comes to insurance. So I feel from our previous guests, we've had a lot of people come on and talk about business, mindset, coaching, being able to attract the right people into their business. What I want to dive into, but before we get there, is sales at a very high level. He's somebody who I've learned a ton from when it comes to the sales process, when it comes to the way that he sets it up, when it comes to the flow of the conversation. He's somebody that is very skilled at what he does. But before we dive into that, give us a little background. Where are you from?
Good old Virginia.
Virginia. Where in Virginia?
The mountains, Pulaski County.
What was it like growing up in Virginia?
Well, there's nothing there. It's your best restaurants is Applebee's, Waffle House, and your McDonald's, Burger Kings.
I loved Waffle House.
That's peanut butter waffle.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. But no, it's just mountains. You got a man-made lake there that's probably about as big as this room. And you really did nothing. You partied. You burned a couch here and there when you wanted to invite some friends over and have a good time. Some Busch Light. And that was it. If you didn't have Busch Light, something was wrong with you, apparently.
So when did you move out of Virginia? When you graduated?
No, when did I move out of there? 2021.
And what were you doing in 2021?
Initially
Did you get into insurance in 2021?
Yeah, March of 2021.
Okay. What were you doing before insurance?
Sold cars for about 2-3 years. Prior to that, bartended, was a waiter. And prior to that, kind of middle of serving and bartending, did a little bit of acting. But selling cars is where I guess I learned what a sales experience.
So I don't know if this is a question that you ask car guys. What was your favorite car to sell?
It was anything. Hell, I sold Nissans.
Like a Nissan Altima? You're like, hell yeah, I sold a Nissan Altima.
Yeah, a Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
Platinum. That was the thing.
Those were sick.
Well,
back
yeah.
in the day. So you had told me a story that you had gotten into sales to be able to pursue an acting career. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
At the time, I didn't know that big productions used code names to keep the secrecy of the movie, so people don't talk about it. I'm like, cool, filled it out. You have to do your pictures. You have to take pictures like this. You check your nails and hands. I can't remember exactly why.
In case you're carrying anything?
Yeah, something. See if you got dirty nails. And it was probably about a week later. It was like, hey, you've been picked as high school jock. I'm like, cool. About a month later, we go there to size for the outfit. Vacant mall. The only thing that's there is a Sears. Go inside. It looks like we're in a empty JCPenney. And there's just a bunch of wardrobe stuff. You walk in, you sign in. All the windows on the outside are completely blacked out with tarp. Can't really see in until you open the door and you go inside. They're putting me in all this 80s clothes, extremely short shorts, tight shirts, almost like belly shirts. And then I had a tribal tattoo at the time. And he's like, oh, well, we can't show that because that's not how it was back then. I was like, what are we doing? What are you filming? He's like, oh, we're doing Wonder Woman 84. And I was like, well, gal?
You're like, oh, shit.
I was like, you really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Then you go to the stylist and they're cutting this mullet to fit exactly on my head, which was nuts. That was insane.
Did it make you want to grow a mullet?
Honestly,
I saw the
kinda,
mullet. I thought the mullet looked great.
it was dirty blonde. So they kind of like did something to my eyebrows and the rest of my small facial hair that I would grow out to match the dirty blonde mullet. But we filmed for 28 days and I actually got to meet her, which was nuts.
What do you do every single day when you go in there?
You sit and be quiet. They had Warner Bros. Security come in there saying, hey, you can't have your phones out. They taped your phone with this security tape that was red. It covered your camera so you couldn't take pictures. If you peeled it slightly, the whole thing would turn silver. So when you walked out, they checked your phone, and if your tape was silver, you got basically kicked out.
Oh, dang. So you don't leak the movie.
You can't do that, and apparently someone did leak the movie. That's how I got put on camera, because the continuity stuff was like, hey, we've already filmed 2 weeks of this scene with this guy. We need somebody else to fill it. And one of the production assistants was like, hey, is that your real hair? And I'm like, no. So they say, all right, change the clothes, go down. They put me in a new outfit, cut a new mullet on me. I was like, all right, you're playing this guy now. And then that's how I got put in front of the camera.
So were you in there twice or just that one time?
In the movie, twice? Yeah. You can see me as the jock.
At what part? If we wanted to find you in there.
The mall. The mall. It's like the first 2 to 3 minutes of that movie.
Maybe we clip that picture and that's the profile for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm just like this. Because I'm supposed to be scared because a little girl's about to get dropped off of a top of the mall thing.
I bet that was exciting. So is that where your acting career started? And then what was like the most recent one that you did?
That is realistic, like where it did start.
Where you're like, dang, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was to be my first gig, to be like a union job with the SAG-AFTRA Guild, and to actually meet Wonder Woman. That was pretty nuts. Most people start at like these smaller things, small little short films someone's making locally. But from there, I was able to get an agent, and then I was able to get some more realistic stuff, like where you're called a principal role. And I guess my most recent one was probably, I don't know, not really recent, 4 years ago, where I was a detective. Detective Nuno Tavares. And I went to solve
Hispanic.
Every role I played other than Wonder Woman was Hispanic.
I saw the detective. Is that what you showed me?
I think so, yeah.
Show. What was that like?
That was cool. It wasn't union, so it wasn't like this high $1 million production, but it was still on the Investigation Discovery channel. But when you're like that kind of principal actor, like where you're the main person of the film, they treat you like you're some holy person. It was kind of insane. I coughed a little bit. One of the PAs was like, Mr. Harless, do you need a water? I was like, sure. Darts brings me water and one of these granola bars, just in case you're hungry. I was like, what the heck is going on? You have your own like a private room you sit in. You have little snacks that they set up for you. It was pretty cool.
That's sweet. Do you feel that having had acted before insurance helps you with the sales process?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what was that like, transitioning from selling cars, you'd acted a little bit, getting into insurance? What was that transition like for you?
I think it was pretty easy. I already knew how to talk to people. I could just conversate with people, have a conversation about anything. It didn't matter the age or who they were. I could carry on a conversation with them. The only thing that was hard for me is just understanding the products. I was calling term life insurance term care, because that's what we called it when we sold a car, specific warranty, term care on it. That was the hardest thing about it. And just understanding like why I was asking health questions.
Right.
Like what's the whole reasoning of I need to grab medications? Why do I need to do that? But just going in, because I started in person, being able to sit down and just talk with people, that was easy. I could make a friend with possibly anybody.
That's sweet. So you had mentioned too that when you had switched from selling cars to selling insurance, is that right around the same time that Sailor was born? So talk about a lot of, like at a young age, you're dealing with having your first child. You're also dealing with switching industries completely. What was that drive like for you to go and sell what you sold your first year?
Yeah, so our daughter Sailor being born, that was like the driving factor. It was so Sailor was born March 3rd of 2021. My first month in insurance was March. And like if we look back even 6 months prior, no one was buying cars just because of the state of the world, whatever it was in at the time. It was just people weren't buying. I was going broke. They had to like fix our payment plan, so we actually made about $3,000 a month without selling cars. But that at the time that wasn't enough. Our rent at the time was $1,750. You have food, you got baby expenses that we're trying to save up for, get the diapers. You know that stuff ain't cheap. And the way that I like to eat, well, I spend a lot of money on food, so we were spending all our money. It was, I guess it was mid-February. Yeah, I started to think about how in the hell am I supposed to pay rent in March? What am I going to do? Went to a conference, got super fired up about it. Came home, was like, you know what? Let me put my 2 weeks notice in. Let me get my feet wet. Let me learn a little bit. And obviously when you're selling cars, just in that environment, they're like, we don't need you. We don't even need that many people on the sales floor anyways. Get the box, pack up your office, go home. I'm like, well, shit, I thought I was going to get one more paycheck, you know, because I needed to pay rent. Get back home. Sailor's obviously not born yet. Basically come home with my office in a little box like you see in the movies, TV show. Same kind of thing. I walk in, I'm like, honey, I'm home. She's like, why are you home? Why is your office stuff in the box? What's going on? I was like, I'm an insurance agent now. I was like, I don't know what to do.
Is that what you were thinking? Were you like, shit, it's time to get to work? Got to figure out this insurance stuff?
Yeah, it was, I wouldn't say I had a panic attack, but like I sat there and in our little makeshift office at the time was like, what the hell do I do now? The only thing I knew was you buy leads and then you call them. So that's like that next day, that's all I did. But that I didn't prep the night before. That morning, I had to run to Walmart and get printer ink because I went to print out all my leads. Printer was broke. So the start of my first dial day was horrible. I had to run to the store. This is when Walmart went from being 24 hours open and now like working like a normal store. Had to wait for them to open, go inside because I don't think they open till 7. I was freaking out. Got everything printed out. It's probably close to lunchtime now. By the time I sit down, I'm like, whew. All right. Now what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
So I just started calling people. And I actually did pretty well. I think I booked, because at the time we would dial Monday, set appointments for Tuesday, Wednesday, and then dial Thursday for Friday, Saturday. I think those Tuesday and Wednesday I had set like 8 appointments.
Were you setting appointments for the city that you were in? Because that's how insurance was when I started. It was all in home. You would buy leads, you would dial the phone, you would set appointments. Now it's simple. We can all come to the office. You can work virtually. Is that when you were buying leads, were they in your town? Because when I was in Arizona, it was saturated. We had to travel a ton of different states to be able to find leads.
Yeah, I did local for about 3-4 months, then a 45-minute radius. We had Pulaski County, then you had Radford or Fairlawn, and then place Christiansburg and Roanoke. I would go back and forth. But I wasn't good setting the appointments first. So I would book an appointment like in Roanoke, 45 minutes away, and the next one's in Pulaski, which is about an hour apart from each other. So I'd run at 9 a.m. in Roanoke, and then my 10 o'clock is in Pulaski. And I was an hour with this person. I'm already an hour late. You know, by the time I finish with them, I'm supposed to be there. Then you hit traffic. It was, I would say, pretty rough at first. When I look back at it now, it's like, holy cow, it's so easy now. Because I started with paper applications. I carried around a big box full of a bunch of different paper applications. Going in there and just filling it out, having to send it in to certain carriers. Are like, hey, you missed a signature, or hey, you can't do this with pencil. You got to do it with pen. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus, so I got to go back to these people's homes. Start of the second week, I'm dialing. Maybe it's a Monday, maybe a Monday or Thursday. It's like my best dial day yet. I have 12 plus appointments for one day. I'm like fired up. I hear Jocelyn screaming, oh shit, my water's broke. And I'm like,
Oh, that was second week.
yeah. I thought she was screwing with me. So she's in there panicking. I'm just in there just having a blast dialing. I walk out to use the restroom. She's like, did you not hear me? My water's broke. And I peek over the couch. I was like, oh, shit. So now what? It's like, Sailor about to come out now? Like, what do we do? Do I got to pull this thing out? what do I do?
Guess we go to the bathtub.
Yeah, so she was like, let me call the ambulance. Like, see what I got to do. And they just like, well, you just drive to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and we're there for a week. The second or third day that we're in the hospital, those commissions started paying. Got paid $8,000 because my first week I submitted 12. Or it was like 12 or 15. And then a total of about $8,000 had deposited. I was like, holy cow, this is real. Like, this is more than I made my best month selling cars. And at this point, Sailor still, as it came out, we're just in there waiting. So I'm like, okay, I need to get back to work. I need to do something. Let me learn. Like, let me try to like write down my why. I keep seeing these podcasts about people write down your why, figure out why you're going to be in this business, because money can only take you so far. Learn a script, write it down. So that's all I'm doing in the hospital, on the little couch they give me. And Jocelyn's unfortunately just dealing with all the pain of having a baby. And I'm like, you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. It was kind of terrible because I wasn't really there to say, hey, everything's going to be all right. I'm just like, I got to learn this thing. I'm learning. I was so fired up about it. Staying up super late because I was just so excited about the opportunities. Like, I got to get the hell out of this hospital. Sailor, come on, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then finally it happened. And then she had, typically when you have the baby, you leave like next day. Sailor had jaundice. It's like yellowing of the skin or whatever.
Right.
So they put her in this, it looks like it's a baby tanning bed. And the only way that you can change a baby is you stick your hands in these little holes. It's like a movie thing where it's crazy looking. And like, when the hell are we going to get out of this hospital? But when I got to hold Sailor for the first time, there's a different emotion for a man, or probably woman as well, that's like born. I held her and I was like, oh, so this is why I'm going to work 16 hours a day. This is exactly why.
That's sick.
And I still have the same. I wrote it on a manila folder. When we moved to Arizona, I found it. My first why that I'd wrote down. Just on it. That's the only thing I had, a manila folder. Just wrote it out. It's pretty sick.
I mean, that'll drive you to figure some shit out. That's exciting. I mean, thinking about it now, are you like, I did everything I said I was going to do? Looking back now from where you were at? Because anytime I talk about my journey in the beginning, I can almost relive it talking about it. You're like, damn, where my headspace was, how much information I lacked, how much knowledge I lacked, how excited I was, how new I was to it. What is it like looking back now, seeing everything that you've done now?
It's pretty cool. I kind of wish I could go back and relive it, just like with the knowledge that I know now, how different would things been. But also, like, I'm super grateful for what I did go through, because I dealt with quite a bit of business adversity, like my third month in. But it is everything that I'd wrote down, said that I was going to do, I did accomplish it. And the things that I said that I wanted, like when I would do my meditation and visualize what my life is 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, I've got it currently. So now it's like that chapter's closed. Now we're developing a new chapter for what does my life look like for the next 3 years. It's wild, but it feels like that was only a year ago. It's been 5 years.
Right, it happens quick.
Yeah.
It moves. Like what we were talking about upstairs, it's like the current. The current keeps moving. You just got to jump in it.
Yeah. Be that turtle.
What was be the turtle. You got to be the turtle, jump in the current.
Get in there.
What was the adversity that you experienced early on? You said third month in the business.
Yeah, so I did 20 first month, 40 second month, then I wrote 60 on my third month. The start of the fourth month is when I started seeing the chargebacks. Because the way I was submitting applications was just that word. I was just submitting applications.
Right.
I didn't know anything about really building value behind the product because I didn't really know it well enough. I haven't put my time in to basically understand what we were really doing, what was the purpose behind what we were doing. So I was just submitting apps. Someone wanted to see if they got approved. Sure. We'll just plug it in here, submit it. People didn't want the coverage, of course, so they would cancel it. All those policies, which was probably about half of them, with one individual carrier had a little over 15 grand in chargebacks. I was like, why am I not getting paid? Like, I've wrote a lot of business. Why am I not getting paid? And then I start to look at it. I'm like, holy shit, that's why. I got a lot of chargebacks. So I started blaming it on the area I was in, because that area of Virginia is just known as being poor and you're a meth head.
Right.
That's what they do there. Just smoke meth and make it. So it's like, oh, it's this area. I was like, so I'm going to go to Lynchburg, because that's like where the nice school is, Lynchburg University, or Liberty University in Lynchburg. I was like, I'm going to go there because it's a wealthy area, big Christian community. I'll go there. I set probably the most appointments I've ever set for one day at that time, which was like 20 plus, just back to back, like every 30 minutes. Dude, I get there and I just get no-showed by everybody. Kid you not even an exaggeration. I didn't sit with a soul. Other than one person porched me. She opened the door, said, I'm just not interested, and just shut it. Like, what the hell? I think it was the first time I ever had someone just open the door, be at home, and just shut the door on me. And then it's just all the negative thoughts happening.
Right.
Beginner's luck. That's all it was. You know, I had really good success apparently at the beginning, but now it's, too good to be true. I should have known that was too good to be true. Wasn't getting paid. Started thinking about all the money. It's like now it's the leads problem. I bought the same leads that I did in Lynchburg as I did in Roanoke and Christiansburg, just a different zip code. It's like, okay, it's a leads problem. Then come to the conclusion that realistically it's me. I was a problem. It's always been me. It's always been my fault. The same way as my early success was my fault. I was very driven at the beginning. When you have a newborn child, it's like, oh hell, I gotta get going. So that success early on was my fault, but all this negative that was coming my way, it was my fault. What I was thinking was my fault. And it just took me, I really had to sit in silence. I was sitting in the car in Lynchburg and was like, what is going on with me? That's when I started focusing on the meditation, the manifestation, what does my life look like, and actually reading self-help books, because I was someone that does not read.
Is that how you solved it? So how do you get out of that? Let's say we have an agent listening and maybe they're in that headspace. What are some things that you focus on? Like dive into, you talk about the meditation, the self-help books, the development. What are some things that you did to get you out of that headspace when you were experiencing it?
The big thing that I would do, and I don't remember who I heard this from, someone on YouTube, get a piece of paper, do a line like right down the middle, line right down the middle, another sheet of paper, write down all your problems, then put whatever you can control on one side and what you can't control on the other side. And it all really boiled down to was like, what was my attitude showing up to these appointments or to my dial day? I could control that. I could control my discipline, the way I wake up, the way that I'm going to sleep. Like am I actually going to sleep at a decent time? Am I getting up, starting my day, like doing something right, maybe making the bed or going to the gym? And a lot of that I wasn't doing. I was just showing up and just going through the motions. I'd get up, yawn, brush my teeth, put some clothes on, go out. There was no development.
Right.
I was the same person, just running a different job. There was no character development. And understanding that from really just reading books and listening to podcasts and hearing people say the same thing over and over. Sometimes it's different vocabulary that they use, but it's like, these are all successful people. They're obviously on something. So like, why don't I start having a different perspective? Like, I understand now that I have to go, or then and now I've got to go through these things to be able to learn. So when it happens again in the future, it's not going to be a big deal. So I just had to sit down and write down the problems that I was having and be like, oh, I can only control these 2-3 things. The rest of the stuff I can't control.
I think it helps too when you start to realize everything you write down that you can't control, you realize that's the majority of the shit that upsets people or gets them frustrated or gets them mad. And I realized too that if the version of you got you to the point where you're currently at in life, if you want to go somewhere different or you want to go somewhere you've never been before, it's going to require a completely different version of yourself. I always understood that. And the control what you can control, I feel that's super important. That allows you to keep it simple. Can I control this? No. Then why am I putting energy, time, effort into it? Can I control this? Yes. Okay, what can I do to get better? Like a just simple equation to allow you to keep going and not get overwhelmed. What did you end up writing your first year in insurance?
426.
426,000
9 months, yeah.
in 9 months. That's huge. How long did it take you to write $100,000 a month?
I think that was my third year. Started my third year. Because the second year I always hovered around 70 to 80.
Right.
Never really wanted to crack 100. I said I wanted to do it, but I never game planned for it.
Right.
And then started the third year, I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, let me game plan this thing and actually do it.
What did you write year 2?
630 something.
630?
Yeah.
So over $1 million in personal sales in 2 years. What'd you write year 3?
900.
What'd you write year 4?
750, 760.
Golly. So why do you, dude, I think about, how many reps do you think you've had selling insurance
Jesus.
to write that amount of business? Like how many appointments?
Bare minimum at the beginning was 40 appointments a week. And then those just started to crank up to about 50 appointments a week, 60. And then I went a little bit crazy when I wrote 900 or issued 900. I was doing about 70 appointments a week. I've had a lot, thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands of reps. But that's what allowed me to be able to write so much business. Is because I started just learning people. I took a lot of time to study my craft, master the craft, understanding the purpose of why I'm saying what I'm saying, like understanding why people give me objections with certain things. Just had a lot of reps. I didn't have a boot camp that I studied and just learned it. It was just a bunch of reps, and then I would audit myself.
Well, because when I see you, you seem like a guy that got really lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I see you walking around, I'm like, dang, this dude got really lucky. No, it is. I observe. Like, I understand, like, what it takes to be able to develop a skill set. It's thousands of reps. And then you start to recognize patterns. And then you start to recognize, like, familiar events or familiar situations to where you're like, I've been here before. This is what this type of personality requires to be able to make a decision. When do you feel in your career that you've ran enough reps to where you were present in the conversation, you understood what your client required to be able to make a decision?
Like, how long did it take me to get to that point?
Yes.
I feel like it was really the start of mid-second year is when I started to really understand what people are saying. But then really on the end of the second year, start of the third year, that's when I was really like, let me bulletproof this entire process. Like, let me spend more time auditing myself. Let me watch how I'm talking to people. Am I using my hands? Do I sound weird? Did I hesitate? And we tell people all the time, like, just audit yourself. Listen to one of your recordings. Or let someone else listen to a recording with you, and let's give some criticism. I think people hear that and are like, I'm not going to sit around and listen to a 45-minute conversation I have with somebody.
Right.
But, man, you do that, just say 3 times a week over the span of 12 months, you learn so much. And that's what I did. I just did that, and I didn't really focus on building. I was like, I'm going to be the best sales professional in this industry. It just took a lot of effort on my end to study myself and people.
100%. I feel when you listen to yourself too. Like when I got in, I have old videos of me listening to myself. I think it's hilarious because I hear people get in and, man, I was 100 times worse than they were. I listened to myself. We couldn't even learn the script. Where we started, it was like we had to memorize a 6-page script. And I'm sitting here thinking I got CTE for playing college football. I'm like, how the hell am I going to memorize a 6-page script when part of my subconscious thinks I got too much CTE to memorize anything? And it's I love hearing stories of how people started, they persevered, they battled some adversity, they ended up getting good because it was a volume and activity game. They got a ton of volume, they got a ton of activity. It allowed them to understand what they had to work on to be able to get good. You're somebody that I understand too. You're a very good communicator. At any time that you have a sales call, you're very crisp and sharp. The same thing with the training, where sometimes you hear people speak and it'll just go in circles, where you're good at getting the point across and driving it home. What are some, have you always been like that, or did you
I think
focus on that?
I don't ever remember myself like trying to study, learn to speak well or get to the point properly. I've had people that has trained me in the past that would train and they'd get their point across and then we'd do the same thing again. And then we're having 2-3 hour conversations when the point was made 30 minutes into the initial call. I think a lot of it comes from acting. Like I tell new guys now, I was like, dude, act like you're in a Broadway play. Play this character. And I think that just puts me in this weird, because I know when I hop on calls with people, I'm like, it's almost like I'm Spider-Man. I put on a mask. I'm a different person.
Is that why you were wearing a top hat the other day?
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to be a detective that day, so that's why I was wearing that big trench coat. I think it helps because I change my demeanor when I'm talking with people. And then you meet me outside, or if I'm not on camera, I'm a totally different person.
You are, which is, I mean, it's a skill. Like you put a lot of time into it. If somebody wasn't the best at communicating to their clients, what advice would you have for them?
I would say simply just watch podcasts, watch some people like motivational speakers. How do they actually speak on stage? When are they pausing? Like when they're speaking, like how do they navigate their arms when they're talking? Because like if I got up on stage and or if I sat here like this during this podcast, this guy's freaking weird. Like how is someone's body language? And then if you watch, let's say 100 different people, a lot of people are probably going to communicate the same way. They use their hands to get something, get a point across. They walk on the stage a little bit differently, and you can play that part. Even though we do everything over the phone now, you can play that motivational speaker part with a client if you just learn how someone's speaking and they're pausing. I don't think I know personally, I never did public speaking. I never did that in high school or college. I did watch a lot of videos of people speaking though. I think that's where I learned it.
I mean, you're getting me right now. Every time you pause, I don't know when I'm coming in.
Yeah.
Like, dang, you're pretty good at it. No, probably comes with the reps, the experience. I didn't understand pausing when presenting when it came to sales, probably until 3 years into my career. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why the hell would I pause? I'm just going to say everything I got to say. But it allows it to really sink in. Can you talk about some things that have helped you increase your close ratio? Because you're one guy, and I love when you say it is, my sales process is fucking phenomenal, which, yeah, no shit. You've written over $3 million in business in 5 years, which is huge. What are some things that you understand now that you could give yourself advice back when you started when it comes to the sales process?
I would be like, if I was from the future talking to my first day Austin in business, hey buddy, we got to start learning tonality. And hey, we got to start going through the finances. Once I learned tonality, that changed everything. And the speed of my pitch, like certain areas, like if I'm talking to you, I can speed it up a little bit to get something not as important across. But when I need to get serious, like, hey buddy, we need to learn tonality. We also need to go through our clients' finances. Once I learned that, dude, that changed everything. Once I learned really the tonality and the speed of how I'm speaking. Like certain areas when I need to be friendly and build rapport, relate to people, I can speed up the way that I'm talking just because other people are probably going to talk back to me a little bit fast. I can relate to them. And then when it's time to get serious, then again, I'll slow it down. Hey, with your current circumstance, what does life look like without said coverage? Because when you sound more concerned or stressed about their situation, you're kind of planting that thought into their mind. And then when you move over to the financial side of it, understanding people's true finances and understanding that most people have never went through their finances like that, unless that's just their career. Most people that we talk to, they don't go through their finances, and they see it and they're like, oh, wow, we are in more of a worse position than we initially thought. Or sometimes they'll go through their finances and be like, hey, you're actually good. This coverage doesn't benefit you.
Right.
That would be the two things that I would say, or we'll say three: tonality, pace of your speaking, and then dude, go through finances.
For people that don't understand mortgage protection, how do you feel mortgage protection is a value and a benefit to your clients?
I would say I'm a good example of it. I'm working. I'm the one that puts, the food on the table. Everything financially is what I do. I'm the one that is financially responsible for my family. If I get diagnosed with cancer and I'm in chemo, I'm probably not going to be showing up here to the office or sitting on this chair doing a podcast with you. I'm going to be
Right.
wired up. If that happens, my income's going to drop. If I had protection in place, which now I do, I'm going to get a big lump sum payment from an insurance carrier. Now, granted, say if I get through that, get back to work, great. But say if I pass away, now income stream's completely stopped for Jocelyn and Sailor. I have a death benefit now that's going to pay out. That for one, having a house, Jocelyn and Sailor's not going to have to worry about any kind of mortgage payments. Because like the worst thing is, I feel like if you're the man of the house, you're a father, and you have no protection in place and you pass away, nothing pays out, and your wife, your kids are just put on the street 90 days, you're a piece of shit. Like if that doesn't go through your head of like, even if I'm 25, I'm 29 now, like how can you not see it as a benefit? Like think of what can happen. I could be crazy. I could try to string you to death right now. People are crazy. Now you'd probably beat the hell out of me, but it's just people are crazy.
Let you do it.
People are crazy, man, and things happen. Life happens. We live in a weird world, and it's just things happen. It's possible. I can get diagnosed with cancer. I could have a heart attack. I could get hit by a crazy drunk driver and die. Right now, I feel like I'm 20 foot tall and bulletproof, but something can happen tomorrow.
Right.
So I guess that's the benefit of the coverage. You're healthy as a horse now, but you might not be in 10 years. Or hell, you might not be tomorrow. You
Right.
never know. So put a guarantee in place, big safety net. So if shit hits a fan, family has a protection around them.
Well, I agree. So I've never asked you this question. You've been in insurance 5 years. Why insurance?
Why not?
Why not?
I've not been in a lot of industries, really. If I would have really pursued acting, I could have made a lot of money. That's a saturated environment. I'd say it's pretty hard to actually get up there to the big leagues unless you got TikTok famous there when COVID was going on, and you might have a chance. But I don't know of an industry where you can make as much money as insurance legally. If I was good at chemistry, I was in the perfect city to make meth, but I didn't pay attention to school. I don't know chemistry. When Sailor wants something for Christmas, I don't have to look at the price tag of it. I get it. That's awesome. She opens a present, she sees it, her eyes get all big, she loves it. I bought that stupid ass fish or whatever it is, salamander fish.
What is it called?
Alien.
Oxalotl.
Oxalotl.
Yeah.
Thought it was a video game fish. I was like, I would have never bought that thing if it wasn't for her and she wanted it. I was like, sure, get it for her birthday. And then I find out that it's like that fish has a victim mindset. It's extremely sensitive to everything. So it's been a little bit of a pain to get that sucker taken care of, but she loves it.
Yeah.
Selling cars, I wouldn't have been able to do that. You know, like it's just everything you can change financially, emotionally, hell, even physically. I was starting to lose myself a little bit.
Weren't you 300 at one point?
If I stood up, these pants falling down to my ankles. These are 350-pound pants, Austin.
Were you 300 at one point?
I was getting close. 240.
That's good. I mean, that's kind of what I think when I think why insurance is, dude, best opportunity to be challenged, to be able to create such a good mindset for life, to create such a good perspective for life, to create such a good vision for life, to challenge you to mold into a leader, to lead other people, like you said, for yourself coming in the business. Like, that's sick. And to get compensated for it. You get compensated for developing people when you start building too. So you start helping people accomplish their goals. You start helping people dial in their habits to allow them to have success. You start helping people develop their mindset to put them in a position to have a good perspective of what it actually takes to be able to have success. And you coach people through it, and you help fast track that. Because the more people that go through the process, the more refined it gets. And it helps you get in a position to be able to tell people, hey, I've experienced the same stuff. So you just getting help across the bridge, and then you turn around, you're helping people across the bridge. I think it's sick. I always thought about coaching football. Like, I was like, hey, I would love to coach football, but there's just no dang money in it. Like, I still got to be able to provide for my family, pay my bills. Like, I would love to do it. And I got into insurance. I started coaching people to accomplish every fucking goal they set out to accomplish, which is sick. That's contagious. Like, somebody writes down their goals. It's like, we're going to go get them. Like, I'm more fired up to help somebody get their goals majority of the time than they are. I feel you are with new guys too. You're like, you got all these big goals. Let's go get them, which is sick. It's a sick feeling because you can show them, dude, you can go through a lot more than you think. I feel a lot of people that have success in this business or in this industry, they are comfortable going through shit that makes them uncomfortable because they have life experience. Some people are gaining their experience in this opportunity. So if it's uncomfortable in the beginning, that's a good thing. There comes a point you don't really get that feeling anymore. Like the anxious energy getting on the phone, or the anxious energy before a presentation, or the overwhelmed energy of like, this is a lot of shit for me to learn and understand, which is exciting because once you get on the other side of it, you're like, man, this is cool. I developed a skill set. Nobody can ever take that from me. What gets you paid is your skill set and the value that you provide to the marketplace. Nobody can ever take that away from you. You have a skill set where you can go make 900,000+ on your own pen wherever the hell you're at. Where I feel that is sick is helping people get to a point where they're not dependent upon you, they're independent. Hey, we helped you get a skill set, you can go make however much money you want to make with it, which is sick. And then it's just a choice. How hard do I want to go? How hard do I want to work? How much time do I want to put into this? For me, I found other driving factors. Like, new people coming in gets me excited because I get to relive the beginning as a better version of myself, which is sick. What are some things that you would tell somebody right now when it comes to lead spend? You're a guy that probably holds the record for the amount of money spent on leads. I would like to say I bought a leads, but personally, you probably had spent the most money on leads. What was your thought process behind it? And how did you not let it affect you?
I mean, I just knew that whatever I was going to buy, I was probably at minimum was going to 5X from what I actually spent. I've seen a lot of other people do it. I mean, like individuals that looks like they shouldn't be selling insurance actually accomplish, big goals or write X amount of insurance. I was like, there's no way that I can't do it. And I heard people, they were spending maybe $3,000 hell a month. And I was like, okay, I'll start with doing $6,000 a month. Then I was like, okay, I wrote X amount of dollars with this. I could probably at least double my production if I went from $6,000 a month to 12. And I was like, okay. So I did double my production at least. So let's do it again. Let's go from $12,000 and let's spend 24. And then I did it. So then I went from 24 to almost 30. And that's when I slowed down. I was like, now we're getting ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Because it got to the point where I've got so many leads. But I just always
What were you
understood.
writing when you were spending $24,000 a month?
Oh, at least $100,000 minimum.
Every single time you did it?
Yeah. There was one time it was like 97.
I mean, that just seems like a no-brainer to me. I'd spend 24 to make 100.
Yeah, it's a good trade-off.
Yeah.
I mean, someone comes
Net profit,
to your
76.
your doorstep, like, hey, I got this briefcase. It's full of $100,000 cash, legal $100,000 cash. You can buy this briefcase for $25,000. But yeah, okay. Let me write a check. I'll definitely buy that because you make a lot of money. And that's kind of how I always looked at it. Now I got a little psychotic doing it. I was like, I just want 1 million leads. I didn't even care. And I didn't even call on my leads. Well, that's what the crazy thing is. I had too many. Couldn't even get to them. They're still sitting there somewhere in the void.
In the ether.
Yeah. Probably not been called. They need me.
We got to get to them.
I didn't care. It was, I always doubled, even when I did 1,000.
Did you have any bad leads in there?
Oh, tons. They all suck. No,
What's your thoughts on that? Because I understand leads very well. You understand leads very well. Anybody that's been in the industry understands leads, but in the beginning, I think there's just this vulnerability and this hope that there's a golden lead out there. What's your thoughts or your advice for people to understand leads and ways to work leads?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I started blaming leads. I was like, it's definitely their fault. It's definitely not me. Took a little bit to understand that we're basically in a conversation business, and a lead was nothing but an opportunity to speak to someone to try to find a problem. And that's where it clicked. It was like, okay, yeah, a lead is simply someone to conversate with to see if they have a problem, because if they do have the problem, I have the license to provide the solution. So that's just how I started looking at leads. It was, I've ran a lot of different lead vendors, tons of them, from data leads or meta leads and the mailers to hell, knocking on doors. They're all the same thing. There was nothing else added. You need a name, state that they live in, and some kind of reason they filled it out. And every single lead has that. So with these leads, you'll get responses like, I didn't fill it out, or I'm not interested, when you know damn well that they just filled this lead out a day ago. I didn't understand that at the beginning, but I also had to start looking at myself. Like when people call me, I'll say the same crap. I wouldn't even hear them out. Not interested. Happens to, my dad all the time. Get calls, not interested, screw you, hang up. So I understand, like, why do people do that? It's like, oh, because I probably sound like I'm probably a salesperson. They probably think I'm a salesperson. No one wants to be sold. So, like, how do I get my guard down? How do I put their guard down so they see I'm a human being?
Right.
And it was just having a conversation like this with them over the phone instead of sounding like a salesperson. It'd just be like, hey, Bowen, it's Austin, underwriter. How are you? I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Who's Bowen? Who's Austin? Then they're like, okay, I want to know who this guy is. Then I'm in. Then I can have the conversation with them. So yeah, at the beginning, it was like, yep, leads suck. this batch of leads I bought sucked, until I understood, hey, this is just an opportunity to call somebody, find out if they got a problem. I got the license to provide a solution. And then the next step was, okay, I need to understand why people are giving objections. Where does that come from? We call them smoke screens. They're just saying it just to get you off the phone. And the next step was like, how do we overcome that? Well, don't sound like a damn salesperson. Treat these people like they're your family. Because it doesn't have to be so transactional at the beginning. See what they're up to. How was the day? You know, most people that call them that are trying to sell something, they're not asking how their day was or what the hell they've been up to and have that conversation for 10 minutes. Most people are right to the point. Let's get the transaction started. And if we totally take to the opposite side of that, run the process totally different, the game changes.
I mean, that's the leads. Understand the leads. Like for me, there was no such thing as a bad lead. How I always thought was, how do I create the skill set that it doesn't matter what lead I dial, I could plug it into any type of lead. If it was a 10-year-old lead where people are like, dang, these are bad leads, these are old leads, I'm like, I'm focused on creating the skill set to be able to talk to these 10-year-old leads. That's what I wanted to create. So if you get in that position of, how do I develop a skill set to communicate to any type of lead? That's sales. It's talking to people, building a relationship. You talk about it. See how they're doing. Build the relationship. Get to know them. It's not a one-time sell. They're going to be your client for the life of the policy, which is different than any other sales opportunity where they just close them, walk away. Cool, we'll see you. They drive it off the lot. Cool, we'll see you. You never see them again. Whereas you build genuine relationships with your clients, which I think is sweet. I love relationship building. Build great relationships with you. If they need anything, they'll call you. If somebody calls them and tries to confuse them that that's not the correct policy, they call me. I got a call from a policy I sold 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. She called me. She's like, hey, they're saying this, this, and this. I told them your name. They definitely know who you are. I'm like, yeah, they're just calling, giving you a hard time. I was like, give them my number. I'll talk to them. She's like, well, I appreciate you. Everything's good. And I feel when you build those relationships, I mean, it's sweet. You get paid to build relationships and help people solve problems. You get paid for helping people figure out how to help people solve problems, which is sweet. Let's end on this. You had told me that you want to document one more time of you going after $100,000 a month. When do you plan to do that? And what is your plan to be able to do that?
Plan is to do it in July. To start basically day 1 of July. Because I feel like if you're going after those months, you got to prepare for it. So what I'm doing now is, I would say I'm not building, I don't know the correct word, building a pipeline of leads, getting enough leads set up, which I'm looking at probably spending about $10,000 to $11,000 that month in leads. But bare minimum, I should issue pay $100,000. And we'll just do it for 30 days every day. We'll have a recording, document the whole thing.
Okay, should we make a bet?
Yeah, let's do it.
If you don't write $100,000, you shave your head bald, like with a razor, bald. And if you do, I'll buy you a watch. Do you want to take that bet?
All right.
That's a win-win.
I'll do it.
You've done it 3 different times. But like bald, like you have to shave it with a razor. Maybe I shave it.
We'll shave it.
All right, bet.
All right.
There we go. Well, I appreciate you guys listening in. If you guys liked what Austin had to say, if you want to see him shave his head, comment, like the video below, but we'll see you on the next video.
Hell yeah.
You're shaving it.
Oh, fuck.
And I can't move on.